Hello guys. In today's video, we are not going to talk about mistakes that are common between all programming languages. Instead, we are going to focus on mistakes that developers make specifically when using JavaScript. Mistake number 0. Because mistake starts at 0. Referencing the wrong object using this. In this class, we have two properties, message and counter. We can reference fo using this without any problem inside fo scope. But consider this example. If we try to reference fo from inside an anonymous function in the context of set timeout, it would return an error. When you invoke setTimeout, you are actually invoking window.setTimeout. Consequently, the anonymous function being passed to setTimeout is being defined in the context of the window object, which doesn't have those properties. But how can we fix it? Instead of using an anonymous function, we are going to define a method inside fo. And when we call it inside setTimeout, we are going to use the method bind in order to pass the proper object reference. Now it works just fine. Mistake number 1. Using named objects indexes as arrays. In JavaScript, arrays use numeric integer indexes, and you can also use objects similarly to arrays, but use named indexes instead of numbers. But it doesn't mean you can use them as arrays. If you try to retrieve the length of person, or the first element using the index 0, it would return this. Mistake number 2. Confusing undefined and null. See, in other languages, you can set null to variables in order to make them empty, no value, pointing to nothing, and also cannot be referenced as an object. But in JavaScript we have both undefined and null. When you declare a variable without a value, it is automatically assigned the value undefined. Both undefined and null have the same value, but not the same type. Check out my last video to know more about this. Mistake number 3. Thinking that JavaScript has a block level scope. In this example, the variable I is not only visible inside for, but also outside it, because there's no block scope. In order to have a block scope, you should use let instead of var. Mistake number 4. Equality confusion. JavaScript coerces different data types into a boolean in a boolean context, so 0, empty string, or a string equal to 0, all become false. But it can be confusing. For example, you may think that an empty object or empty array will coerce to false, but it's not the case. Objects are always coerced to the value true. So unless type coercion is explicitly desired, it's typically best to use triple equals and exclamation point double equals in order to compare without type conversion. Happy coding! Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Like if you care.